So this is one of those, I don't know how long this video is going to be. And no, I will not be talking about the New Warriors thing, because I think at this point we should all be able to admit that it's not surprising. It's not surprising. Of course, Marvel would do something like this. Of course, they would think it's a great idea. Marvel, in, whatever it is that they're thinking, they are trying to think in terms of the future. And, the average person can look at that and say, yeah, the future that they're imagining is ridiculous. But the reality is, at least they are thinking about the future. And, I've been working, well, this past week or so, I've been resting a little bit because, I finished another draft of a second story. So, I have two drafts in the wings, sort of thing. And, it's been a long time since I've been there. So, I needed a brain break before I got working on anything else. And now I'm back to working, and I'm trying to get myself organized for this year, because I have some manuscripts in the wings for this year that I want to get edited and get put on Amazon. And I mean, it takes organization and work. And I don't really see myself as a YouTuber. And I think if I'm going to be a creator, I don't think that you really can see yourself really as a YouTuber, because then this YouTube thing gets so distracting, because then you're always having to record a bunch of videos, and you're having to do editing, and you're having to do social media stuff to get it out there and grow your channel, and worry about a bunch of things that takes time and effort away from your creative properties. And it's sort of the same thing that I learned with Twitter and Facebook. It's so distracting, and there's become so much drama. And for me, I've allowed myself to think over this time as I take a break, and I will freely admit it, this drama thing just is not working. And YouTube has just been flooded with drama. And even like this thing with the New Warriors, if you mention SJW, if you mention the silliness of this, if you mention any of that, it's amazing how you're going to get people who are going to want to come watch it because it's drama. But there seems to be this cap in there as well, that overall, the majority of people don't really want drama. They want people to be honest. And, you look at certain drama channels, and they always seem to have this large audience, but, you can never reach a moment where you are out of the drama. And, I think about, this one musician, and Keisha Cole. And I remember, she always did these really, really, really sad R&B songs, and album after album, it was just misery and pain. And, and I guess she was successful with that. And, then she got married, had a baby, and was happy. And she came out with a happy album, and it didn't sell as much as the one that was full of heartache and pain. And, the conclusion she came to is that apparently, like, being happy wasn't what people wanted from her. And, I guess for me as a creator, it's this thing of why would I want, like, why would I want to live like that? Like, why would I want to live with myself being in misery because other people want to escape their own misery by, I guess, reveling in mine sort of thing. And that kind of is what it is. It's, you know, like I really had no desire to talk about the New Warriors at all. And, and yes, I'm really not, because like I said before, what is even the point? We can acknowledge the fact that the big industries, Hollywood, DC, Marvel, they're not going to change. And they're not going to change because of the insulated, place that they're in, the people that they are listening to. And, I guess would kind of be the same thing with Comicsgate. Like at this point, they have become an insulated group and they're not going to listen, to outside voices and, things like that. So it kind of becomes like, what is it for the rest of us kind of thing? I don't want to believe that drama sells, or sells product. I know that, to a degree, well, yeah, I don't, like, it does in the short term. And I should say that it can in the short term. And, because I think about when Jawbreaker Lost Souls came out, and it was it was at the perfect time with the perfect storm, and sort of like the perfect things happened that allowed the campaign to capitalize on the drama that was involved. But then, enter the next one, the next campaign, and not the same, and even the channels and things like that of drama, like when you look at them, they're not getting the same kind of views. They're not getting the same kind of audience. And, I guess for me, it's this, I guess I'm appealing to the creativity, where before there just seemed to be this love of storytelling, this love of creativity, this love of putting something together that was going to be fascinating and interesting, that was going to appeal to a broad audience, and that was going to, in I guess the most, sappy or whatever way, revolutionize the way that creativity and stuff was done. Like, it was supposed to be this thing of like a creativity boom, or, like think of during the time of the Old West when you had the gold rush and things, and, everyone just was able to like, buy land, and they were thinking in terms of like building a dream and taking care of themselves and getting to that point, and like focusing on what they were doing, focusing on their product, focusing on the building aspect. And like I know that that's where I am. I'm at the building phase. I'm at the phase where I wish that people would put the drama away, because I've talked about how it's getting harder and harder to find quality things, quality books, quality comics, quality television shows, quality movies, how hard it's getting to be able to find something that is entertaining, that will allow me to just for a brief time turn off my brain, experience somebody else's creativity, feel enthused, feel creative myself, and come out of it ready to take on and tackle the world. And we're missing that today, because everything so much is about drama. It's about wanting bad things to happen to people that you don't like, not because you want to take that person's place, but because you don't want that person to have what they have. And that is not, that's not being a creative person. That's not, that's not even like, that's not even being a good business person, because you don't make your business off of wishing ill of others. You make your business by putting out great product. And I think if you're someone who likes to consider yourself creative, or if you just are even interested in creativity as a whole, like the one thing you could do for yourself, the one thing that would be best is to just take care of that creativity part. Take care of the storytelling, the putting together something that people are going to love. I talk about being timeless, because being relevant is overrated. Like the new warriors, Daniel Kibblesmith has said they're looking to be now. They're looking to be relevant. They're not thinking in terms of future. They're looking at what do we think? What do we want millennials? What do we want Gen Z? Like, what do we want them to think? What do we want them to feel? What do we want them to look for? And what they want is this. And that picture is not going to change. And, laughing about it, complaining about it, that's not going to even combat it, especially because, many of the same people who are complaining about it are going to turn right around and they're going to buy that comic, and they're going to do it to roast it online. But you're still going to give them money. You're still going to give them time and energy. You're still going to give them reason to believe that this thing will be successful, because you're focusing on creating drama, creating tension. You're not focusing on creating something that people can come in and say, I want to purchase that because that looks like quality. Quality matters. Quality matters. Quality matters so much. It's not even funny how much it matters, how much you can do well for yourself when you focus on that quality. And yeah, like sometimes I know it is difficult, because when you're thinking in terms of the long game, it can take so many years to get to the point where you can even begin to see yourself make money and whatnot. And so I know that there's always this kind of temptation to come in and do, what's gonna get you quick gains, the drama, the picking an enemy and picking fights and, talking bad about people and, getting people to come in and just kind of like cheer you on and, throw money at you because you're entertaining the worst parts of them. And, that's never going to be sustainable. And it isn't, because after a while, what happens when there's no one left to fight? When there's no argument left, when there's no industry left, when there's nothing there anymore, and these people move on to the next bit of drama, and you're stuck there with nothing to show for yourself except, quick, immediate gains. Like, would that have even been good enough? And yeah, these are questions that I ask myself. And, for me, I know, I want my stories to be, I want my stories to be like Tolkien, like Chronicles of Narnia, like Lord of the Rings, timeless tales and things like that, things that people can go back and, yes, they might be influenced by the time that I lived in, but you can read them later on and it'll still, be able to hit you in the right emotions, and you won't really like it won't end up being pop fiction. It won't end up being something that's just relevant for now. It won't be ironic, because this kind of drama driven, you know, ironic humor and, you know, now kind of mentality, it is not sustainable, you know, because like even for the people who, you know, who do their work based on their hatred of someone else, like you're so dating yourself, because then what happens when that person is gone, and you know, you now have this product that you can't even move because it was just a product of its time. And you know, once that time is over, no one's gonna want it. Like part of like I know I'm getting a little bit longer winded than I expected, so I guess this will be more of the kind of podcasty form, but longer term thinking, it will get you so much further. Yes, you probably will spend time kind of like looking at the landscape and trying to figure it out and trying to figure out your right path and how are you going to get to where you're going. But I think that it'll be a whole lot more fulfilling when you know, not only find the right people, but when you begin to present things that you are so proud of, that, you know, are beneficial, that, you know, people can look back and say, man, that changed my life. Even if it's a fiction story, like there are stories like that I've read and it just have been life-changing, and you remember them years later. And you know, I know that books have always been filled with some form of politics, and I certainly, you know, we can't get around the worldview that people have, and you know, because the work that you create is a part of you. But like, if we can all be like Sean Gordon Murphy, where we focus on the quality, if we could all be like Tolkien, if we, you know, if we could just concentrate on, you know, the story that we're trying to tell, you know, and put in the work and really kind of like dig in and not try to make something that benefits from drama, but is, you know, the best that we can present every time. You know, I could see, like, I could see creativity being so, like, I could get it back. I could see it going back to being sort of like in golden age kind of thing, of going back to actually opening people to the idea of reading again, you know, because, and I do remember that there was the study that was showing that people don't really read anymore. And yeah, we can say it's television, we can say it's YouTube, we can say it's video games, but I also think it's the quality of the work that people are being presented. Kids are not being presented with quality work. Teenagers are not being presented with quality work. Everything has become so agenda based, and trust me, they can look at it and they can tell. And if they're not being provided with something that is quality, that is something that is adventure stories, something that, you know, hooks their imagination, you know, like we're going to lose something. Like I do believe that humanity would lose something essential if we lose that sense of wonder and creativity that comes from our imagination, that comes from being creative people, that comes from dreaming and exploring. And drama just, it does not give you that same sense. And you know, I'm gonna end it there. I just, you know, I just felt like I had to get some of the thoughts and feelings out. And yeah, I would love to see, especially in the creative community, I would love to see this time of drama ending. I would love to see people concentrate on, you know, doing good storytelling, concentrate on making great things again, you know, because we can't sit here and say that we want to change things. Like, you can't be a change maker putting out mediocrity. Like, you're not going to affect anything. And so I'll leave it at that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do the bell stuff for notifications, share this, do all of that, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.